Crystals like amethyst typically take thousands or millions of years to form, but with some science and a little patience, you can grow a beautiful crystal on your own in about 24 hours. Hello, and welcome to the Winter Crystals program. I'm Kendra, and today I'm going to show you how you can make a beautiful crystal all on your own in about 24 hours. Let's start by going over our materials. You will need some string, pipe cleaners, 3/4 cup of alum, something to stir with, a wooden spoon, dowel, or popsicle stick, some glue, a heat-proof container like a glass jar, a cup or a bowl, a heat source, a pot or a pan, and a little bit of water. Now, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is take our string and wrap it around one of our pipe cleaners. Just tie it in a little knot. Once you have that tied, take your pipe cleaner and wrap it in a ball around itself. Sometimes pipe cleaners have a mind of their own and don't want to go into a ball shape. But you show that pipe cleaner who's boss. The pipe cleaner is not the boss of you. Once you have your ball made, take your other pipe cleaners and wrap them around the central pipe cleaner to make a large ball. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's a little bigger on one side than the other, that's totally fine. Once you have your pipe cleaners wrapped, the next thing we need to do is coat this thoroughly in glue. So I'm going to do that by grabbing a cup or a bowl, putting my pipe cleaner in the bottom, opening up my glue, and then I am just going to spread this on with my hands, but you can also use an old paintbrush or really anything else if you don't want to touch it. Using the cup just keeps your work surface from getting too messy because the glue will drip. You can also use a paper plate, a napkin, anything you want really. And you might have to reapply glue in a few spots if it's looking a little thin, and that's totally normal. All right, I'm pretty happy with the amount of glue on that. So the next thing we need to do is coat this thoroughly in some of our alum. To coat this, grab your alum. If you registered for a kit, you should have all of these supplies and your alum will already be measured out. Now take a spoon and just gently sprinkle the alum over your pipe cleaner. And again, maybe do this over a bowl or a cup just so that you don't make a huge mess because alum gets everywhere. And I'm also just going to roll the ball around in some of the extra alum to try and get as much covered as I can. All right. I think that is a good amount. Might just try and get this side one more time. Now this needs to dry for a few hours, and it's best to suspend it. What I like to do is grab the jar that I'm going to use later and start by suspending it in the jar, just because then you'll know exactly how high or low you need to have it, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Now you can either tie this off or use a little bit of tape. I think the tape is easier, so I'm just going to tape it. Now, I'm just going to suspend it over my cup for a few hours. Once the glue on your pipe cleaner is almost dry, you can go ahead and start boiling some water. You'll need probably about 2 cups, but what I like to do is just fill up whatever jar I'm going to use up until the fill line. If you're using a jar like this that has a screw-on lid, it'll be just below that lid, and then pour that in. Then you'll have the most accurate measurement. For best results, you are going to want to get the water just about boiling. Once your water just starts to boil, turn the heat off. You can let it sit for a minute to cool, or you can just go ahead and carefully pour it into your container. I'm just going to go ahead and pour it into the container. Now we need to take the rest of our alum and stir it into our hot water. You're going to do this in turns, so just sprinkle a little bit in and stir it until it's mostly dissolved. You're probably going to end up doing this about 3 times. And you want to wait until as much of it is dissolved as possible before you add the next amount. And once you get to the end, you might notice that your alum is no longer dissolving into the water, and that's perfectly fine. That's actually what we want. We're making a super saturated solution, so there will actually be more alum in the water than the water itself can hold. And that is just going to help our crystals form a lot easier. All right, I think that's about as dissolved as I can get it. The last thing we need to do today is grab our alum-coated pipe cleaner and just gently suspend it in the water. We don't want it to touch the bottom, which is why we tied it up while we had it in the jar. And we also don't want it to touch the sides. So just try and get it as center as you can. And now just leave it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you should be left with a nice crystal about like this. You may even get a bonus crystal up on top. When you take this out of your water, you might see that there are crystals that form on the bottom. That's fine, that's normal. You will need to rinse this very, very gently in cold water and pat it dry with a towel. Usually when you rinse it, that ring of crystals around the bottom will drop off. You can do this a couple days in a row if you want to end up with a bigger crystal. After about 3 days, we ended up with this, with a really big bonus crystal on top. To do this, all you have to do, once you take your crystal out of the water, is reheat some water in a pot, put a lid on your jar, and put your jar in the pot. You don't have to let the water come to a boil, and the jar does not have to be fully submerged. You just want the crystals that formed on the bottom to dissolve. Once it's dissolved, give your solution another good stir, and then put your crystal back in the water. You can do this for as many days as you'd like. You're really only limited by the size of your jar and the amount of alum that stays in the water. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to try making different shapes with your pipe cleaners or even put a little bit of food coloring in the water, go ahead and see what kind of crystal you come out with. I'll see you next time. Bye.